Hello, hi everyone. Sorry, I didn't even see that people had started joining. I was trying to send messages to people that I have started. Hi. Welcome everyone. My name is Shalakpi Azazi. I'd like to welcome you to this platform where we share stories. Where we share stories about autism and special needs and how it has affected us in our different lives and how we have our journey has been so far, and just basically sharing our story, because I believe that in storytelling others can find solutions to a problem that they didn't even know, they're helpless and they don't know where to turn to. By sharing your story, you give hope to another person. So that's the whole essence of this platform, is for me to bring up parents like myself who are on this journey, what we've done differently, where we found hope, where we found help, and what, just encouraging people generally. And today we're going to be joined by someone, a very lovely lady that I just recently met. And I'm so happy because, she's not in Nigeria at the moment, but she's Nigerian. And our stories, are similar. And then you will think that, we are not in the same space. How come our stories are similar? But it just goes to show that autism has no is no respecter of class, age, financial status, nothing. It's wonderful, and I want her to share a story. And she also wrote this very lovely poem, but I feel like I need to share, I must share, and I'm going to share. So I'm trying to get her to join me now. I can't find her, and that's the issue. I'm trying to find her. I'm hoping she finds me. Well, while we're still trying to find her, so this poem she wrote, and it's a very beautiful poem. It says, from the moment you were born, I knew you were different. You took some time to let out your first cry, but you did eventually, with the help of a gentle nudge from the nurses, of course. As a newborn, you were so peaceful. You let me sleep through the night. I know that's rare because your sisters taught me the hard way. As an infant, your cuddles, smiles, and love light up my days. You would laugh at my voice, clap to my rhyme, blab to my song, and dance to my music. Suddenly, I began to watch you slowly drive into your world. I was confused. I was helpless. Yeah, she's here now. Good, 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 good. Yeah. So, yeah, back to us, our poem while she joins. Yay. Hi, Fati.
I was blushing. Continue, keep going.
Don't blush, don't blush, don't blush, don't blush. Like, I have to read your poem. Like, I told you that this poem resonates with me. Like, this is my story. And it's so wonderful how my story can be your story, even if we've never met before. We've
Yes.
never met before. The first time we
Yes.
actually did meet was so we started chatting like a month ago, and we
Exactly.
actually met online. And I
Yes.
was like, wow, your story is my story. Your
And
journey
you
is my.
remember, I also said everything you said at the presentation when you made the introductions. I was like, it was like we synced. Do you remember? I said it was like we were syncing.
Absolutely. I was saying to myself, goosebumps. Like, this is my reality. These are the things that I'm facing. This is my life, and how you then now said that you're teaching your son with your religion and all of that, and he's giving you the strength, to move on in your journey. And I'm like, madam, you're speaking a story. You're speaking a story. And what's very interesting for me is that I'm Christian and I preach Christian, my religion and all of that. But you are Muslim, and it just goes to show that, it's not a respecter of any religion,
No.
but you can also decide to center yourself. For me, I say my center is my God is my center.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you have found your own God in your own religion as your center. And I'm like, please come and share it. Come and tell people that I mean, I'm not trying to, all those people that say, oh, first you convert into this before you get this. It's not about that. Find what works for you, and then move from there, because you cannot give what you have. But first, let me finish your poem. It's too interesting.
Finish.
Let me finish it, please. Okay, so like, where was I? I can't remember, but I will continue. And everybody, I will put it up on my page because it's a beautiful poem. You need to listen to the words. It will move you. Anyways, so it says, yes, it says, suddenly I began to watch you slowly drive into your world. I was confused. I was helpless. I knew I needed to search for answers. I reached out to few people. Some said I was fussing over nothing, but I knew that there was something. But I kept on searching until I found the word autism, and it changed me completely. At first, I was in denial. I felt sad, lonely, and hopeless. In those trying moments, I found strength like never before. I knew I had to be there for you, to be your voice, to protect you, to help you get to where you deserve to be. I had to fight for you. When your teachers were on the verge of giving up on you, I showed up for you, reminding them of your unique abilities. Despite the challenges, the journey has never been easy. Dealing with your meltdown and your behavioral challenges has always been and still is my biggest challenge, being your mom. But I have come to understand that every behavior is communication. Sometimes I get the message from your nonverbal cues. Other times I do. Education to me as your mom is the best gift I can give to you. Education is the pathway to success. Education opens doors for anyone, regardless of their skills and expertise. This is why I will do all it takes to see that you get the right education, formal education and Islamic, skills and expertise, to see that you become independent in life, to stand tall anywhere and with pride, to be a testimony for hope for other children with autism. That's my wish. That's your wish. That's a wish for almost all of us that are on this platform with one need or the other, to be sure to see our child, transit into that independent stage and be the best version of themselves. That's our prayer. So let you introduce yourself, Patty.
Oh, wow. I am nervous. I'm still getting used to the whole introduction thing. But anyway, my name is Fatima Giwa Abdurrahman. A lot of people know me on social media as Fati Giwa. I like that though. I am a parent, first of all, of a child on the autism spectrum. I am an advocate for children with special needs, especially autism. I am an autism parent coach. I am a writer. I think my list is getting longer, but I will stop here right now as I walk through my journey to self-discovery, I think. My son Khalil was diagnosed with autism 5 years ago, and that, like, my poem, as I feel like Nonye mentioned something like my poem was like a capsule. Everything it's in it, and so. The diagnosis, when we got the diagnosis, just like I said, it was something that, it changed us, it changed me completely. I didn't know where to go or how to start about it. But I will say one thing: social media played a huge role in our journey. And this is why when I started to do things, I just went straight to social media, because I know that the impact that social media had for me in my journey. I was able to find people one way or the other, find support groups and stuff like that. But it wasn't easy. There are a lot of things that there are a lot of experiences that I feel like no matter how much I write, I don't write everything out there. No matter how much I share things about, I share our journey and stuff, I still have doubts before I put out certain things, because not everyone will understand. not everyone will understand, and I would not want a situation where my child will be labeled something that will make me, go back to where that dark place that I was. But eventually, through the diagnosis, like I said, I started working with my son. We had to leave because we live in Cape Verde Island. Cape Verde is an island on the Atlantic Ocean somewhere, but it's part of West Africa. So we don't even have a lot of, like Nigeria, there you have special needs schools. So we don't even have any of that here. That's how serious it is. And so even getting his diagnosis, it was like today they are like area issues, tomorrow it was different things, and coupled with the language, they speak Portuguese here, and I was still trying to get hold of the language, but it's a whole different aspect when you are talking medical terms in a different language. It confuses you totally. So we had to, go to the States. I think I spent about 3 months in the US with him at that period just to get the diagnosis and everything. And there and then I made up my mind that, okay, I was going to watch whatever it is they were doing. I will try to learn whatever it is they are doing, and I will be able to, come back and do whatever it takes to get him to where to help him through this journey. And we got the diagnosis. I wasn't sad almost immediately when we got the diagnosis, because like I said, they were saying hearing issues when we were here, the doctors and everything. So I was kind of relieved knowing that, well, it's autism. I've read so much about it. Children outgrow it, recover from it. There's still hope. So I thought, well, if there is hope for one or two people that have, there should be hope for me and my son too. And we're going to do everything it takes. And just like I said, it wasn't easy. I came back, I found myself really alone. I had no one. The community here wasn't welcoming. There were so many things going on. And often at times I will just be angry with myself. I'll be angry with everyone. I will be like, I wasn't happy. I was doing everything possible myself, but I felt like I was pushing myself beyond the limits. Like I was trying to force him to do stuff. And that was not the way for progress. But as time went by, I just kind of like start to realize a lot of things. And this was just, I think in last year and this year that I told myself, so what actually happened, where the transformation started from was, so a backstory, before I started this autism journey, I was already dealing with being a stay-at-home mom. I was dealing with it, like I was battling it head on. It was never my plan. I hated every single bit of it. And it's like God was trying to tell me that is just the beginning of it, because this is your stay-at-home mom. Another phase is coming. God has a way of, throwing some kind of humor in our faces. You're complaining about being a stay-at-home mom. Something big is coming for you. And then so when the whole thing started, I was like, okay, so each time I try to take a step forward, like in terms of career, work, or something comes up. And then there's this same period when my son's diagnosis happened, I had already enrolled at the university here. I was like, I'm doing this, whether language or nothing is stopping me. Even the university here, they speak Portuguese. I was like, I am going to study my course of choice, what I eventually wanted to study while I was a kid that I did not have the opportunity to study, which was journalism or mass communication or something. I knew that was what I wanted to do. So I enrolled. And it was months into me enrolling that we started noticing this like, the whole autism thing. And I had to leave. I had to drop out and take him to the States. And that was how everything was just standstill. So you can imagine all those anger and everything, depression. I was angry with everyone, my daughter, my husband. I was always just, I was just the nagging, complaining wife. And then, but something happened, like I was saying, I love movies. A lot of my followers know me. I am a movie person. And I was actually watching this series, The Smart Money Woman. I was watching it. Yeah, and then those questions, I don't know if you watch it, they have these questions they ask you at the end of, or at the beginning. The narrator talks about some things, and she asks you some questions like financially or money wise, or this is something, and then everything was speaking to me, and I was like, what is it that you're really doing? You have to have something. There has to be something about you. it just doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the end of it, you know. And I just took that moment, I reflected on so many things. But the signs of me doing something has been there. It has been glaring to me right there for a very long time, but I never took it serious. Just like I said, because I did not have the support of my family to pursue my dream job or my dream, you know, my hobby or something, because I have been writing for a very long time. I used to read a lot. I used to write when I was in secondary school. I used to, you know, I was just like, I used to do drama. I was just, you know, but I never had that support. And so it always felt like it wasn't worth anything. And so when I started writing again I joined Fin in 2016, and that was when I started writing again. I started writing, sharing a few of my experiences. The first experience I remember sharing was about my experience with infertility, PCOS, and stuff like that. And I saw a lot of women, you know, the responses, a lot of people going through. I was like, wow. So if I didn't speak out about this, you know, no one will actually, you wouldn't know how many women, you know, had all these things and stuff like. So I used to write privately because I still wasn't confident of myself. But each time I put something out there, I get messages, like honest messages from people, like it's changed whatever I shared. It changed a kind of a perspective about them. It kind of inspires them. It gives them hope one way or the other. There were always people that could relate deeply and appreciate whatever I put out there. But I never, like I said, I never paid attention to those writing skills. And people will tell me, oh, you write so well and stuff like that. I'll be like, I don't think it's a big deal, because, you know, we don't look into those things that are right there before us. We want to, you know, we want to look for something that is not there.
And I would like to pause right there and just, you know, elaborate a little bit about what you're saying, because, you know, we have a lot of issues, and we stigmatize ourselves with,
Yeah.
you know, storytelling. And what we forget is that without storytelling, you cannot share with the world your own views.
Exactly.
But because we have a shaming culture, Africans in general have a shaming culture.
Yes.
Don't tell anybody, nobody must know that this is what you're going through.
Yes.
Is somebody that's doing you? Is this? And so because of shame, it has
Yeah.
suppressed so much so that we have a lot of mystery surrounding concepts
A lot.
a lot of concepts. Like you just talked about a PCOS, you know, fertility story, but because of the mystery surrounding it, you know, because I mean, I have a story, you have your story, everyone has a story to tell, but we are not, because of the shaming culture, it has suppressed us so much.
Yeah.
That we share our journey. Like when you started to say the story, you said, I used to share a lot about my son, but I am always cautious about what I share about my son.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you are cautious about what you share about your son, you're only just going to give us just a sneak peek.
Yeah. Yeah.
What autism is about. And because you are giving us just a sneak peek to what autism is about, how then do we now see a child having a full-blown meltdown and understand that?
Exactly. You see, that meltdown is the place. That is exactly the place that I you
don't
know,
we don't
yeah.
The society then sees it, and then they think is something abominable, something
Exactly.
something that that we're scared of, or something we should lock up, or something.
Yes.
We don't give them that opportunity to understand what is going on and be able to learn interventions.
Yeah.
We don't give them that opportunity to have a buy-in.
Yeah.
We want to create a village, but we do not want our village too close to see what we are. So using our wrapper to cover our.
Exactly. But you know, it's
How-
one step at a time. One step at a time. I knew exactly what I went through before I even started this, and I had to really face people and tell them that, see, look, my dream was killed when I was young, and I am finally trying to pick it back up. You know, that dream that I thought I had died, and it was this child with autism that kind of really awakened, because like I said, I was doing those things privately, sharing my stories, other things are not autism related. But when the diagnosis started, I started to share, because I felt like if someone had actually been talking about it on their page or something, I have been on Facebook ever since the beginning of Facebook. I will have at least, had something or seen or have a little bit of idea of what, or read something about how autism should look like, I wouldn't have been confused, and I'll be like, yeah, so it has happened to other people, fine. But there was absolutely no one talking about it. And then I remember the first post I shared was me coming out of that denial phase. And I said it, and I wrote it that I had just have to face my accept it, that this is what it is. And I shared that message on my Facebook, And I did get a lot of comments. Consequently, subsequently, like, people will send me messages. Family started reaching out to me. I should stop sharing. It was a big battle with me and my family members, because they were like, it was somewhere like it's spiritual. They will send me prayers. They will send me these. I should bring him to Nigeria. And I was like, I'm so glad. That we are not in Nigeria right now. And while I was still working with him and doing stuff like that, there was a time I had to just pause a little bit and stop posting, because the pressure was too much. But then something happened last year, and I was like, no, I'm not stopping. I'm that person that I am very respectable. I'm very gentle and kind, even with my parents. I will respect your opinion. But if that thing doesn't leave me alone, that idea, that drive doesn't get away from my head, I will go ahead and do whatever I want to do. And there's no stopping me. And so I said, I'm not going to kill this, not this time around. I'm an adult. No one has the right to tell me what I should do or what I should not do. And I had to face it. In fact, this year was the year I had to face my elder brother to tell him that, look, I'm doing this thing. He has reported me to everyone. He's called it to the extent that, they think I'm the stubborn one. I'm the last born. So they, and then I had to really explain to him. And then he eventually, he understood, and he was like, fine, okay, this is what you want to do. It's your decision. I'm like, yes, let me make my mistakes. And then I will realize that, yes, this is the mistakes that I made, but I have to try. I have to do this thing, because if I don't do it, I will never find happiness.
And what is interesting is that sharing your story would give a window of opportunity to build awareness.
Yes.
And in advocacy for our children. This advocacy, this place that we're saying they need this, they need that. If we don't share our story, how would they know? How would they tie an importance to all this?
Exactly. It all started with advocacy.
All mention are culturally relevant, because if you as a Muslim do not share your story and how you can present it,
exactly,
your religion, because yes, okay, fine, maybe part of why they're saying is Islam this and that, and then they want you to write on the caution of that. But you see, if you do not present it to them and ensure, and you're telling your story still being rooted in your faith and knowing right and wrong, do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand you perfectly.
That's the way you tell the story. You can't tell me to, because then I would then now say, oh, okay, culturally, this is important to people of this religion.
Yes.
So why don't you, while you're teaching, teach them how to cover them?
Exactly.
We are just copying and pasting what's the intervention that is available in the West.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are making it culturally relevant to
us.
But
it's not everything that works for them that works for us. It's not everything that, we have to create something for ourselves. And this is actually one of the motivations that I had, because like you said, seeing someone else, as in seeing another Muslim person doing this thing, and then I always get those messages, a lot of Muslim parents are hiding their children on the autism spectrum just because of this whole spiritual thing. They're possessed by genes, so many things like that. But then when I remember during our journey, I was trying to find out some things, related to, autism and my religion. And I went through the whole internet and I found almost nothing. even if I found something, maybe, you know, some website that someone started, and you know, those kind of website that when you click on the link, it will take you to an error. And I was like, there has to be someone to be the face of a Muslim family for the, you know, in, you know, the autism community in Africa, or, you know, yes, it's in Africa. So, and this is another thing that, you know, like I said, everything just keep coming on one stage at one after the other, because it all started from advocating. That was exactly how it started. And then I got loads of messages, a lot of moms, like the messages were, I will get voice messages, you know, moms crying, like it was the end of, you know, it was the end of their life, having a child on the autism spectrum. And it wasn't just Muslim moms. I was getting, you know, and I was wondering, why me? You know, I was like, why me? But then as all those things kept coming up, it gave me strength. I realized that there was so much that I knew that I thought was not enough to do anything, that I could use to help a lot of people. And amongst the messages that I got, the ones that really hit me hard was the ones with parents that they kind of waited so long. They waited so long. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. And he's going to talk. You are worrying over nothing. It really hit me, because by the time they knew what was happening, their child was like 5 or 6. And then, you know, there was a particular mom that sent me a message that she's gone several places in Nigeria, and they keep telling her that she should not worry. And when she explained the symptoms to me, it was just, you know, it was clear. But how would she have known if she had not come across my story? And you know, I had to make a little bit of inquiries for her to where she could get her, you know, proper diagnosis, just to clear, because I cannot give them a diagnosis. I can only, you know, guide them, or, you know, tell them to go where they can get the information. But missing out on early intervention, it's really close to me, because I know the benefits of early intervention, even though we started at two years plus, but it was early enough for us. And we achieved so many things within that period that we started.
Yeah. Yes. So happy to, in fact, hear your voice. And then you see, I'm even stuck. I'm just like, yeah. As in, I'm like, just keep talking, because I'm enjoying it. But like, I want to first put it out there that we are moms. Even if we have had professional training, we are here just to share story.
Yes.
I hope that our story sharing would encourage somebody else. We're not giving professional advice.
Yes.
Put you to the professionals. We can, if you come, you reach out to us. I'm having this issue, that issue. We can share contacts of the professionals that we have in time past been in contact with, or have vetted and have seen that, you know, some to an extent they are not quacks. We can share those kind of people with you. But we give you any official diagnosis.
Yes.
Because we are not in that professional space.
Exactly.
Very important to sound out that warning also, because I don't want people reaching out and saying, but
yes. Oh, of course.
However, I know Fatih does it and I do it. We do caregiver training. And what we mean by caregiver training is that we train you on how to equip yourself to better train for your child, to know what your child's needs are, and where the areas of strengths are, what you can do in the house with your child. Because sometimes, yes, the therapists are doing their work, but you see, it takes the effort of
everybody.
Yes. So if this is what they're working on, look for how you can incorporate those things within your environment.
Yeah.
They don't have to be expensive. They don't have to, they can be your everyday tools in the kitchen, in your bathroom. It could even be a short 5-minute break when you are, you know, brushing your teeth or getting ready.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we can recommend and encourage, train you as to doing. But we are not going to give diagnosis or professional advice. So it's very important.
Exactly. Those are some of the things that I share on my page. Like, I think I created my son's page sometime in 2018, and I put a lot of videos there. Initially, when I created the page, it wasn't like I didn't even know where I was going. Like, you know, I didn't even know I was going to be doing this. I just created it. I just wanted to have somewhere where I can go back. And initially the page was called Khalil's Progress, because I just wanted to go there and see how he was making progress, you know. And I used to go back there sometimes when things happen, and I go back there when I feel sad about where we have a new challenge. I go back and I look at, and I see previous challenges. I see previous things that were, you know, that I was so worked up about, and I see it's gone. And I realize I have not been grateful. I have not been appreciating the improvement, and you know, and I'll still be all you know, all upset about something that he's not able to do, or something that he's currently doing, forgetting that there were some things in the past that I was also dealing with, and is now history, you know. And so sometimes I go back to those videos, and just to give me a little bit of courage to keep moving, you know, and just to see the improvement, the progress that I've also been making with, you know, when we do floor times, we do stuff, when we read books and stuff like that. But when people started reaching out to me, and sometimes I'll just be like, you know what, just go to my page, go and see some of the things that how my son was when he was 2. When he was 2, he could not pick up things on the floor. He could not feed himself. You know, he could not blow his nose till he was about 5 or 6. He could not blow his birthday candles until he was 6. You know, this was endless. So every time we achieved something, or I was going through something, I used to share. I would just put it out there, put some videos, and you know, as time went by, I put a lot of our routines just for people to see what we actually doing behind the scenes when we go out, the things that we do. I share informative, educative posts also on some of those activities, especially for the little ones. You know, how they can do, you know, improve, you know, fine motor skills, things that we did to get words, speech. You know, it's just a lot of information that we could. Seeing it from a parent, it will also encourage, motivate, inspire another parent to be like, if I can do it, trust me, I am very I am a very lazy. I don't like to, no, I'm not going to, I'm not going to call myself that, but I'm that person that I like, you know, I like to enjoy myself. I like to just relax and do things. I like to look for shortcuts. But if I can do this, I think everyone else can do. No, I don't think there's anyone that can sit down and put. And my son now, even though we still at that, you know, there's still a lot that he can do. But I know where we started from. Come on, I know where we started from. We started from ground zero. We started from ground zero. And now I know that he has the words, he has this vocabulary is increasing. Like, I don't even know. The only challenge that we have is, you know, getting him to use those words when he, you know, he needs to do something. And it's a work in progress. We will get there. Slowly, we will get there. But the most important thing is just not waiting, not staying and expecting miracles to happen. We should just do our part as a parent. Just like you said, the therapist will come and go, but you and the family and everyone else is going to be there. Will spend more time with the child than the therapist or the specialist that is working with your child.
Yeah, so it's important to learn to know what is going on, and that's where the parent educating the parents and caregivers.
Exactly.
If you don't know what it is that you're looking out for, how then do you start to give what you don't know?
What you don't know.
Very, very important. So, I'm going to jump onto another line now, which is I know that Kali siblings. So tell me a little bit about this interaction.
So
jump in there. Priya didn't go to school today, so just in case somebody comes in and bumps into her.
Okay, we will understand. Yes. You said about his relationship with his siblings. Okay, so he has 2 sisters, a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old. So he's the middle child. Yeah. I don't think he likes it, but it is what it is. So with his sister, when she was 4 and he was 2, I can say that truly she really felt a lot. She felt it because she really wanted a sibling that she could play with. She really wanted someone, you know, she was excited. She has a brother. She would try everything to play with Khalid. but he just never, he will cry. He just rather likes to be alone, playing with his hands. He was not interested in anything, and she will get frustrated. Sometimes she will try to force him to go play with her, But now they are like twins. If I'm taking them out, and I'm taking, even last week there was a video I shared last week where I took him to the beach because he was sick and he was at home. And as I was preparing him to the beach, he kept on calling Isma, Isma, and she's in school. And he was trying to tell me that Isma has to go. And I'm like, don't even start that, because if you start that, you will stay at home. You're not going anywhere. I'm like, Isma is in school, and so eventually he was just like, I had to go with me like that. So, but now they are really, really close. My 9-year-old, she has been amazing. She is like the angel that God sent to me, because even from the beginning, since she was 4, she kind of, I don't even know where she got the understanding, but I talked to her a lot about it. She would ask me, why is her brother not talking? Why is he not doing this? Why does he not do stuff like that? And I will explain to him that we have to help. That's why we're teaching him all those things. We need to teach him. And he got to a point that sometimes when I'm tired and I'm like, I'm tired, I can't do any activity today, she will pick up at 4, she will pick up the books and she will go sit with him. I have videos of her putting some dot tracings for him, to trace the activities that she sees me doing. She will do it with her brother. So like, she's her brother's number one advocate. They do have, a little bit of, it's normal. Sometimes she feels like I give her brother way too much attention. And that took me back, and I started to, try to like, put her into the, give her her own time. I try to make extra time for her. Sometimes I take her, ask her where a favorite place she wants to go to. We have breakfast or lunch or something, just me and her, and we talk. And over time, I just keep talking to her, explaining things to her, and she's just the best sister for her, for Colleen. The little one, the little one, they always do the most. She is, sometimes I feel like she understands. Like some days ago, Khalil was in the bathroom. No, most times when he goes for number 2, he sometimes doesn't tell you he's in the bathroom until you go and find him in the bathroom. So she came to me and she told me, Mommy, Khalil is in the bathroom. Khalil is making a book with. And I was like, how did this girl, she already knows these things. So sometimes she can be really sweet, and she's the luckiest, one thing I can say, because Khalil loves her. He plays with her. And why I say she's lucky is because his elder sister did not experience that when she was little. But this one, they play together, they do stuff together. He is not as attached to her as with the other sister, but he's already, being really gentle with her. Ever since initially when she was born, there was a time he tried to go throw her away. He came to me and we were wondering like, what is it? He tried to pick her up, and then my husband said, leave him, let's see what he's going to say. I say, me. So I just used my hand to right under him, and I followed him, and he was ready to drop her on the carpet, and I just grabbed the baby. I'm like, no, Khalil. So but it took him a while.
A toy.
It took him a while, but now they are really good friends. She bullies him a lot, and he's so gentle with her. Like, I feel like she's teaching him emotions. And yes, it was right after he was born that I began to notice that he became more sensitive, show a little bit of emotions when things are happening. So they are all kind of like I said, it's all the family all together. We're all doing these things together, everyone helping out each other. It's just it's one big autism family.
That once one person has autism in your family, you are an autism family.
Yes. Yes.
Your story is so similar to a lot of mine that, as you were saying, I was just smiling from beginning to end. Okay, so Priya is not going to school this week, so he's at home for the week and next week. And so I remember that on Monday when it was done, I was like, oh, Pri, what would you like to do? Because it was already 1 o'clock and you were done with everything else you wanted to do. And he says, Timebi, I'm like, Timebi doesn't close that. Would you let us? He said, no, get Tim, like,
Oh,
with
his sister.
his brother. And then
Oh,
remember, it will be too early, blah, blah, blah. Before I knew what was happening, Bros has picked up the car key. He has worn his shoe. He's standing by the door like, "Ah, sorry, please,
that's the
can
cue.
we go in? Like, let us, please. We need to go and get
Yes.
down now. I'm missing my playmates, that kind of thing." And then I know that there are times when he will want something and he doesn't know how to, like, maybe he doesn't know how to request for it. Then he will now push his brother in front of him and make that one ask for it. Like, maybe I've already said that I don't want you guys playing. Stop telling Alexa to play this music and that. I'm
Yes.
tired. And then the next thing I'll just see him, just push his brother to my front. And then that one, sharp mouth, will just say, Mommy, I think I want some music. I want this. You now, that's it.
In our case, in our case, the sister, my eldest daughter, she understands some things better than me. So there are times where Khalil, sometimes you don't understand what he's saying because his pronunciation can be a little bit, it's not all the time he gets some pronunciations right. And then I would have to ask her, what is he trying to say? So sometimes, maybe like there's a video or a song that they've been watching together on the TV, and then he catches a particular line and he wants me to play that particular song. And he comes to me and he's saying, I want this, I want this. He's repeating that, either a phrase or a word from that video. And I don't know the video.
Don't know what he's saying.
Exactly. And I
brother and tell his brother that line to his brother, and then his brother will not be like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I find it. Then
exactly.
Okay.
So we do that a lot. Sometimes when she's not with me, I miss her because he starts to get agitated once he's repeating those things to me, and then I know that a meltdown is going to happen immediately because I don't understand what you're trying to say, and I'm trying to understand, but I can't get what you're saying. And then he's going on. I'm like, where is Isma? And Isma is nowhere to be found. How am I going to do? So she helps me translate so many things. Sometimes through body language. Sometimes just by listening to what he says. Sometimes she just understands that, okay, this is the time. She understands him so much. And even in school, at a point I was going to separate them because I was not getting I was not satisfied with the school services last year and stuff like that. But this year, a lot of things happened. I think there was a Halloween party this year. And I didn't know she was the one that dressed her brother up because I put, there was like a pajama party. So I put the pajama in his backpack. And I was hoping that it was a teacher or someone, that will dress him up. And so she also had her own costume. But what happened now, she forgot her costume after the party. And I was like, okay, so can you check for Khalil's own too? Because I didn't see Khalil. So then she said, Khalil's own is in his backpack. And I was like, how? She said, I put it there. I said, why did you put it there? And she was like, I dressed him up. And can you imagine? She dressed him up and remembered to put his own in his backpack, but didn't remember to put hers. And I was really impressed. I praised her. I showed her that I was really proud of her. I made her understand she was really doing good with her brother. And then I was like, no, I'm not changing the school because often at times things happen. I always like to hear her version of the story of what happens in school. She tells me things. Teachers, they will tell you, but they might not say it in the way. But she will tell me exactly how it happened, unless she wasn't there. But if she hears it from other people, she will be able to tell me, okay, this is what happened and this is what happened. So they're just.
We have been lucky because Priye has a cousin that is age mate and in the same class. So
okay,
it's very easy for us.
Yes.
Say what happened.
Yeah.
How did
it happen?
Also, he also is always like, oh, they did this and that, and that's what.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that because that gives me some relief knowing that, and then sometimes his younger brother would even tell me, oh, I heard his voice when I was downstairs in class.
Yes. My daughter tells me that too because they are not in the same class. So now she's even upstairs and he's downstairs and she will tell me, I had Khalil crying. I don't know what happened. He was with so and so person, stuff like that. So it's just relieving knowing that they are there, they have their, you know, each other.
Thing is that because I remember one of my very good big sister too. This is Mokolo who does this sibling something like
Yes,
mental
yes,
health.
I follow her. Yes.
Yeah, does for siblings. And I know that one of the people that came on a show had talked about how, so he's a twin. And then I think there was a particular point when they were separated and the sister had to go to South Africa. He said that was the way he described that period was pretty much don't separate them if you don't have, if there's no
Yes, if
separate
there's no
them.
need.
He didn't understand the separation, and it was a lot for him to handle. It was a lot for him to handle, and that's where my own warning to parents is that do not underestimate sibling therapy. They
Sibling.
they
Mm.
they know what you're doing, and so if you are flippant about a lot of things, they'll be flippant about those things with the one that has the special needs, because that's what they're seeing you do, and
Seeing,
that's
yeah.
how they interact with the child in the house. So if you want to be deliberate about your interaction, teach them and use them to facilitate those in-house therapy that you need.
Yeah, I always tell parents also, doing it together, include or do it together, all of them. You know, we
Mhm.
used to do floor time, all three of them. We still do it, but now my 9 year old, I feel she's a little bit, you know, she's growing. I let her do her things. She has her own bedtime routine that I have assigned to her, but I allow her the opportunity to join us if whenever she wants, because most of the books that I'm reading with them, she's read everything. They are not, you know, they're baby books and stuff like that. So we still do it. I noticed that since I'm doing it with the 2 year old now, some activities, sometimes Khalil will be like, show like he's not interested in floor time and he will go to bed because I do it in their bedroom. And so I know how to get his attention because I pick some books that I know that he likes or an activity that I know that he likes. And then I just pretend like I don't care, and I pay attention to the little one, and we're doing it, and we're having fun, and we're singing, and we're really doing. And then the next thing you come, you see him doing like this, like coming to be like, "What are you guys doing?" And you know, the moment he comes, it shows that he's interested. For him to have left his bed and come to see what we're doing, he's interested. And slowly, you will see him from trying to see. He will sit down and then try to pick on something. You know, that's something, and then they learn from each other. My 2 year old learned turn taking since she was one. Since she was one, she understood the concept of turn taking because I was doing it with her and Khalil. So now there's no force when we're playing together, when we're playing with toys. Everybody has his turn. Khalil's turn, and she does it peacefully now. She's like, okay, my turn, you know,
I
Isma's turn.
know what is interesting is that the younger one, the youngest one, is benefiting so much
So
from
much.
this, and that's the thing I tell people. In putting strategies for inclusion is for
Yeah,
all.
exactly. There's no
Not
line.
going to be the benefit that you've adopted a particular teaching style and everything is going to benefit everybody.
Everybody.
Trying to include visuals or whatever to your teaching style is a benefit to all. It's not
In
just that
fact,
it's going to
my
end.
my 2 year old, she's benefiting so much. Like the way her brain now. In fact, the last year they had to put her in the 2 year old class before September because she was just, oh, you
They,
know,
they grow faster.
exactly, faster. And
Yeah,
the things, every single thing that I'm teaching Khalil, she is paying attention and she's grabbing it. And I'm like, you slow down. It's not even, you know, just slow down and just enjoy being a 2 year old. But she learns it so fast and she's already using those things. And then yesterday we were playing a game yesterday, and then she was the one that even initiated the game. You know, she brought those there's those things that they use to write. I don't know what they call it. Those ones that are like a board that has a magic pen. You know, those things, those
yes.
activities. Yeah. And she brought it to me, and I was like, I should draw something. You know, and I drew something, and that was how a game was birthed. So I drew something and I asked her to guess what it was. And then she guessed it. And then that was how a game was birthed. I mean,
Program.
just yesterday. And my 9-year-old came and saw that we were having fun. I was enjoying it. So then I did banana and she recognized banana. I did something else, you know. And it was just like that. We all did it. Then later we call Khalil, then we will draw and then we'll ask Khalil to tell us what did we draw. And he will say some, you know, it was fun. And we really enjoyed it. And I think we will be doing this game more. So doing it together, including the siblings, talking to them, let the siblings understand what, you know, the challenges that, you know, your child has. If it is, you know, the child is on the autism spectrum, they need to know so that they will know how to handle, especially when they are asked out and when they are with their friends, you know, they'll be able to defend their sibling whenever they're outside of the house.
Okay, so yes, so I'm just going to read some of the messages that have come in. A lot of people, you know, someone says everyone has a story to tell. Absolutely, everyone has a story to tell. So it's until you tell the story, then yes. So someone also said that sorry, I don't have my glasses. Apologies. So someone says, how do you teach him to accept her? So do you want to answer that? How do you teach him to accept?
Oh, okay.
I think yes. So I think what the person is saying is that have you been able to teach the younger sibling or the older sibling to be more accepting? Oh no, him. Okay, so have you taught him to be accepting of the younger sibling and the older sibling? Maybe. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, well, that was, you know, it's just like you said, it's how you present it to them. And ever since he was a baby, like she was a baby, you know, it was not like he accepted her immediately. I mentioned he tried to pick her and throw her away one time, but over time I will explain to him. I think I even bought a book about a baby brother. I bought a book about siblings, so I will do some stories about babies and stuff like that. And then I talked to him, I explained to him that this is a baby. I let him understand she's a baby, you know, should be gentle with her, you know, and stuff like that. So he started, I somehow, you know, they do listen, they listen to us. It's just that we don't see that when they are listening, but they are listening to us. And he sees how I behave, you know, how gently I'm treating the baby and stuff like that. So I can't really say exactly when he started to accept her, but I think it was like last year, he suddenly started to initiate play with her, and he will crawl to her and he will go do something in her face. You know, he will just on his own. You can't really teach your child to accept. You have to
I think you can teach to accept by your own behavior. Remember that
exactly.
Children learn by action, not by words.
Exactly.
Love your sister, and
yeah,
what is violence, or they don't love, they don't perceive that love, then they cannot love.
Of course, exactly.
Accepting you are about certain things, or someone does this, you are accepting, you're welcoming, you are slow to anger, and those are the things.
And like I said, you know, they play together. We have the floor time together. We do stuff together. We do turn takings. We do a lot of activities together. I encourage him to play with
an enabling environment. So what you have done is that you have created an enabling environment.
Exactly.
Right. So by making sure that we are together, we are in this together, we are doing things together. There's togetherness, and he's seeing it constantly. He's seeing that the love is, you know, there. It's an enriched enabling environment, and then he can catch on what these people are doing, and then start to do what these people are doing.
Exactly.
In, you know, you don't teach by textbook or saying
just saying it. You just have to show. So even when she was a baby, sometimes he would trip over her, unconsciously, not intentionally, and I will call him back, and I'll be like, she's a baby, you need to say sorry, and then he will touch her head. That's the gesture he makes, for sorry. And I encourage him to apologize, to say sorry to her whenever he does something to her unintentionally like that, and she's hurt or she's crying and stuff. And over time, he started to be really conscious of her, so he stopped tripping over her unconsciously. Like, even if he was running and she's there, he will know how to avoid not tripping over her. And a lot of things, it's just being there, guiding him, telling him what's right and what's not, showing him how to be with his siblings. I think those are the basic things.
Yes, sorry, I was just typing what you said. Yes. Hi, Basirat. I see you. Yes, we met on your platform, and we're best friends because
Yeah.
we speak the same language. So yes. Okay, so it's been a fun time. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Do you have more to say? Do you have anything else you want to chip in? Do you have anything else you want to say?
Oh, well, I just wanted to
I
share,
don't want to have anything to
just
say.
just to share, a message, for parents. I know a lot of times we feel like nothing is working, but I remember that hope lives. There's nothing that we cannot do if we do not believe. There's nothing that's going to. We have to be able to visualize the future and see, the light despite everything. Just see the light and believe in yourself, whatever it is that is holding you back right now. If you feel like you're at a phase where nothing is working or you can do, there's always something you can do. And I think it took me a while to understand this thing. It took me a while to get, to accept myself, to believe in myself. And like I said, my son's autism is like a transformation for me. It was like the major transformation for me. It brought me back to that dream that I had as a child, of wanting to be an author or to be a writer or to be, to do the things that I've always wanted to do. And look at me now, I am doing those things, even though they are not like in a kind of way, but I am doing it. I also, and one other thing that I could relate with, I also have a talk show that I do invite people on my other page, my Journey with FG page. And then when I saw you send me the message, I was like, we are so similar in so many things, because I also have invited parents, specialists, anything parenting. I just invite people to talk. The more we talk about our stories, the more people will realize that they are not alone. Parents will realize that they are not on this journey. You will find something similar. You won't be like, you will relate to it. You will find, closure, knowing that you're not doing this alone. There are so many other people out there. And even, we never know. Social media, there's so many things. Little by little, it will get to our government, and then we will see changes in we just showing up and sharing our stories and lending our voices to this cause. So please stop hiding and show up. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining. So I'm going
Thank you.
to go now, and then I'll just do the quick concluding message. Yes. So it's been great. It's been fun. I mean, I started this off with just thinking in my mind that it was just going to be one or two people to come online and journey every week. I look forward to sharing different people's story.
Yeah.
And although this is the last story for this year, we're coming back next year, January, to continue the story. And we would have more parents come and share the journey. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting the journey
Yeah.
or 10 years into the journey or you are
Exactly.
30 years into the journey. A
Mm-hmm.
journey story is a story. You never
Mm-hmm.
can whether the person, which end of the story this person is on, and what help they really need, to
Yeah.
achieve that
You
story.
never know which story will speak to you, which
Yes, you
story will, release something from your head and birth something. There's always something that can be birthed from a story. So
yeah.
my dad used to, my late dad used to say, experience is the best teacher. It's one of his, and I always say, I don't know why people will say, like, I say a lot, and I think that's one of the values that I've always held and as keeps me going, you know.
So yes, so and then watch the page. Some more will come up, even if we're not doing anything yet.
Yeah,
Rest of the year, we'll definitely keep pushing our resources, keep telling.
sure.
Please, everybody, keep stay tuned. Tell your story. Hide your children. Guys,
Yeah. You can also read up on some of my stories on my
yes,
www.fatigiwa.com.
yes.
Yes, I have a
Go to
lot
that
of,
page. She has lots of resources. She has lots
yeah.
of. Please follow her, and you'll be amazed at how resources you can get from her page. So,
Sure. Thank you so much for having me.
and
It's really been amazing. I can't wait to have you. Although you said this is
I
your last, I was also wrapping up, but I was hoping maybe we'll have you next week if you're available.
oh,
But if
we will talk offline.
so, you will also be the last for my show for the year, while I work on some other things that I am prepared for next year, God's willing.
Amen.
So we'll
Amen.
talk about that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
All right then. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone, but I'll just post this so that we don't lose the video.
Okay. Bye.